Rabbi Yaakov Ettlinger was a great rabbi in Germany in the 19th century, and he got this response as a question. So there was this very pious, very simple woman, like living with her kids and her servants, and her husband was away for a month on business.
Okay.
So this man came up in just rags and all cut up, and he said, "Oh, a Jewish man, I really need a place to stay." And so her kindness got in the way of a better judgment, so she let the guy stay with her house. And she noticed this man was an ascetic. He would never eat meat, never eat fish. He would sleep on the floor, and he'd use a rock for a pillow. Every day he'd go out to the river, even though it was in the middle of winter, and bathe there. And every night, at midnight, she'd hear him wailing and crying for the destruction of the temple. So this seemed like a very holy man. Then one Friday night, when they were alone after the children and the servants gone to bed, the man tells the woman that I'm really Eliyahu HaNavi, Elijah the prophet.
Okay.
And this woman believed him. So she went to bed, and then about midnight this man comes into her room. And he wakes her up, and he tells her that he's gone through the whole land and he's not found anyone as worthy as her to give birth to the Messiah. And the problem, though, is her husband. He is not worthy, but this man, Elijah the prophet, Eliyahu HaNavi, he was sent from heaven to sleep with this woman so that she will have a son who will be the Messiah who will redeem the Jews in the world. And as proof that he's Eliyahu HaNavi, he tells her that on the Tuesday after he leaves, she should open the chest in her room, and there she'll find a large sum of gold. So he proceeds to make love to her twice that Friday night, and once on Saturday morning. And then
this is a really long story.
Yeah,
baby.
This is the response. And then he runs away on Sunday, and nobody knows where he is. So the woman gets really excited, and she messages her husband that he needs to come home right away. So he comes home, and on that Tuesday they open up the chest together, and guess what? There's no gold. And so she realizes that she's been fooled. She tells her husband everything. She tries to convince him that she did it all for the sake of heaven because the man was so ugly. Now, according to Jewish law, a woman who's been with another man must divorce her husband. The Rabbi Ettlinger ruled that she was raped because she was fooled, and everything she did was for the sake of heaven. She wasn't betraying her husband, therefore she doesn't have to divorce. Anyway, this is still happening a lot. So many women today, like married women, and Pico Robertson in particular, like they'll meet some stranger and he'll say, "Oh, I need a room." And she says, "Well, my husband's away." And she says, "That's okay, give me a room." And then
it's okay, I'm your moral leader.
Yeah, or I'm like Eliyahu HaNavi.
Yeah,
and
they take off the sunglasses and you'll see Eliyahu. That's why I have to hide my eyes.
Yeah, because they're so bright.
They're so bright, yeah. This is your game, huh?
And so, you're worthy of giving birth to the Mashiach, but the problem is your husband's not worthy. And so, but after I leave, as proof that I'm Eliyahu HaNavi, you'll find this big stack of gold in your dresser. And so many women today getting fooled, and it's just so sad to think that there are men who will do this, and that there are women who aren't smart enough to know better. So that's just like a public service announcement.
Okay, it's so important.